Hello and welcome. Welcome to your 5-day body reset, your fitness foundations. My name's Duncan Vincent and I'm going to be taking you through all of the lessons in these 5 days. We're going to be starting off nice and slow, just getting ourselves aware of our bodies, gently moving it, and then progressively building it up throughout the week till the body ends. You're going to be feeling strong, mobile, and full of confidence and ready to take on the world. Just a very quick one in this lesson. If you want to, I advise you, if you can, try and have your trainers offer this gentle movement class for day one. It helps your feet react to the floor and just get a nice little body connection. So we're going to start nice and so we're going to start nice and simple. We're going to bring our toes together. I want you to stand up nice and tall, bring your hands down to your side and spread your fingers out nice and wide. Now imagine somebody grabbed you by the top of their head and is giving me a little pull. So we're going to lengthen through that spine, give your inner thighs a squeeze and just take some big, deep breaths and just notice how you're feeling right now. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, give your toes a little wiggle, and then we're going to take a nice big breath in, and all I want you to do is just turn our shoulders round to the right as far as we can. Nice big breath out, back to center, and then a nice big breath in, taking them round to the left as far as we can. Now try and keep your hips facing forward, let your core turn, and bring those shoulders round as far as we can. Just a nice easy one for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Lovely. Now bring your hands onto the thighs. We're going to take ourselves into a nice roll down. So take a big breath in. Bring your chin into your chest. Roll your shoulders forward. Hollow through your tummy. And just gently let the spine release down segment by segment, reaching down as low as you feel comfortable down towards your toes. At the bottom, take a breath out. Then a big breath in. Soften your hips and knees. And then think about restacking your spine. Segment by segment, and we come up nice and tall. Lift the chin, pull the shoulders down and away from our ears and stand up nice and tall. We're going to do that one more time. Bring your chin into your chest, roll your shoulders forward, hollow through your tummy. Let your spine release down segment by segment, reaching down for those toes. Soften the hips and knees, pull the tummy in, and then roll ourselves back nice and gently, segment by segment, pulling our shoulders back. Lifting that chin and taking a nice big breath out. Lovely. What we're going to do now, we're going to bring our hands back down to the sides. We're going to spread those fingers out nice and wide and push the hands down to the floor. Now take a big breath in. I want you to lift up those arms. Let your palms touch at the top and then take a nice big breath out and then bring our hands back down to our hips, palms back facing forward. Squeeze the glutes, pull the tummy in, take a nice big breath in, reach those hands up nice and high and then bring them back down. Now what's going to happen is as you're lifting those hands, your ribs are going to want to flare out. So I want you to imagine that someone's got a little bit of rope to the bottom of your ribs, pulling it down. Keep your core engaged, squeeze the inner thighs and the glutes, lift and then bring it back down. Big breath in, nice big breath out. Big breath in, and a nice big breath out. Lovely job. Now have a little shake off. We're going to work these shoulders once again. I want you to imagine now that you've got a box around these shoulders. I want you to pull your shoulders back, push them down. That's the bottom corner of your box. Now what we're going to do, we're going to slide them down the bottom side of the box. So slide the shoulders forward. Then we're going to pull them up the front side of the box. Then we're going to slide them across the top of the box. And then we're going to push them down the back of the box. So we've got the bottom, the front, the top, the back. So when I say about setting our shoulders, it's all about that final movement, taking them from high down the back of a box and setting them down. So even though we're doing circles, try to think about trying to get to those 4 points of the box, making sure we've got a nice gap between our chin and our chest. And we're just going to go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Lovely. Now with our hands, take them back so the palms are facing forward. And then from here, what we're going to do, we're going to pull our arms back as far as we can. We're going to bring them up and over. Try and brush our ears with our arms and we're going to bring them back down. Now as they come down, now you're going to notice your shoulders are slightly rolled forward and your hands are now facing backwards. So pull your shoulders up, Pull them back, rotate your hands and then bring them back down. Now pull them back, nice big circle over the top. As they come down to those hips, it's a nice double movement. We're putting them up, back, rotate the hands, bring them back down to the floor. Big breath in, nice big breath out. Big breath in, nice big breath out. So we're trying to take the breath in as we're moving, breath out as we finish that move. Breath in, breath out. 2 more to go. Pulling them up and over. And then setting those shoulders back and down. Last one. Up and over. And then setting those shoulders and back down. Lovely job. Right, we're going to give those a nice little rest. We're going to take ourselves down onto our hips. So we're going to take our feet nicely shoulder width apart and our hands are going to be on our thighs. From here, what I like you to do is I want you to push your left hip backwards and soften your right knee, and we're going to drop your right shoulder. So we're going to drop that right shoulder, we're going to push that left hip back, then we're going to pull our tummy in and we're going to bring our hips back forward. Then we're going to go the other side. Soften your left knee, push your right hip back, drop that left shoulder. And then we're bringing ourselves back up nice and tall. Big breath in. Now think about your top shoulder. Can you pull it around a little bit further to point it up towards the sky? Feel that stretch down the back of our left leg. And then bring ourselves back up. And then we'll go the other side. Push that right hip back. Turn that right shoulder. Pull the tummy in. Bring the hip forward. One more time each side. Taking ourselves back. Nice little turn. Bringing ourselves forward. And then the other side. Pushing our hips back. Nice little turn. Bringing ourselves back forward. Lovely. Now take your feet hip width apart. Take your right foot forward with our toe on the ground to start off with. Now imagine someone's got their fingers and they're pushing your hips backwards. We're going to unlock. We're going to sink our weight into our left heel, pushing our hips back. With our right toe, we're going to pull it up towards our shin. And then what we're going to do from here, you're going to feel a nice stretch down that right leg. And we're going to push that left hip forward, squeezing the glute, dropping our toe. So we're coming back. Toe lifts, toe back down. You're going to notice that as I'm coming back, my back is nice and straight. We don't want to have a nice curve in that back. We want to have our hands supported. So we've got a nice, good straight line from hips to head. Big breath in. Nice big breath out. Big breath in. Nice big breath out. We're going to go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Lovely. Now we're taking ourselves to the other side. That left foot forward. Push your right hip back. Lift that left toe. Bring our hips down. Bring ourselves up. And now squeeze that right glute as we're coming forward. So we're stretching down the left leg, but we're also activating that right hip. Activating and stabilizing muscles. Big breath in. Nice big breath out. 10 more seconds. Keeping that back nice and straight. Hands are there for that support to help you do that. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Lovely job. Right. Now we're going to take our feet out nice and wide. You want them wider than your shoulders and your toes are be at a nice 45 degrees. Again, your hands are going to be on your hips. You're going to take a big breath in. You're going to unlock your left hip and put our weight into our left heel. So we're going to shift our weight to the side. You're going to feel a nice stretch in that inner thigh. Your chest will come forward. Then you're going to push off that leg, bring your hips back, and then take the right hip back, weight into that right heel. That left leg is going to have a little stretch in that inner thigh. Bringing ourselves back up. Now, the key to here is to push your hip backwards, weight into the heel, bring those hips forward. And again, your hands are there to support to keep that back nice and straight. You don't want to curve and collapse. So activating those back muscles, take the hip back, take the hip forward, take the hip back, take the hip forward. Right, last time. Back, forward, back, and then forward. Right, then we're going to do the same movement from side to side, but this time we're going to allow our knee to travel over the top of our toes. So we're going to push the weight forward now. That knee's going to come over that left ankle. Then we're going to bring ourselves back. Now your right knee's going to travel over your right ankle. bringing ourselves back. So now we're getting the ankles into play a little bit more. Try and find that nice range of motion. Try to keep your heels on the floor. Just gently pushing from one side to the other. The 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Lovely. Now we're going to keep our feet this nice and wide. I can bring your right foot and turn it so it's 90 degrees, and your right hand is going to come onto your right thigh. Your left hand's now going to come to your side, palm facing forward. Take a big breath. You're going to lift that left arm. You're going to slide your right hand down towards that right ankle. Then we're going to pull our tummy in, and we're going to bring ourselves back. We're going to do the same again. Sliding ourselves down, and then bring ourselves back up. Now, your body's going to want to compensate as you come down now. You might find yourself leaning forward to get down lower. So try and keep yourself in that nice straight line. Don't worry about how far you're going. It might be that we just get into the knee. That's absolutely fine. But let that left hand come up as high as it can towards the ceiling. And we're just going to go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Now bring that right foot back to that 45 degrees. Turn the left foot to the 90. Left hand on that left thigh. Right hand down to the side. Big breath in. We're going to slide it down. And then bring ourselves back up. Now, I was guilty of that one. I actually let forward a little bit. So try to keep ourselves in a nice straight line. Slide ourselves down. Bring ourselves back up. You might notice that one side is tighter than the other. Big breath in. Nice big breath out. We're going to go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Lovely job. And then bring ourselves nice together. Have a little shake off. Chance for a nice little sip of drink. These next exercises, we're going to take ourselves down onto the mat. I will give you a couple of standing alternatives as well. So if you don't want to get down onto the floor, you haven't got enough space at the moment or whatever, I'll give you the standing versions as well. So we're going to take ourselves down onto our back to start off with, and we're just going to work on a little pelvic tilt and then a glute bridge. So when we come down onto the floor, bring your feet so they're hip width apart. Hands down to the side, palms facing down. Now, I want you to really focus on the first movement being your tailbone curling up. So you're going to pull your tummy in, roll your tailbone off the floor. What you're going to notice is that your lower back just gently melts into the mat, and then we're going to roll that tailbone back down. Another way of thinking about it is to have a couple of cogs either side that we're just tilting up towards your belly button. Lower back comes into the floor. And then we're bringing ourselves back. Big breath in, little tilt. And then back down. Last one. Little tilt. And then back down. Lovely. Right, so the standing version, very, very quickly before the glute bridge. If you're standing here, I want you to take your hips back onto a little shelf, bend our knees. You're going to tuck your tailbone underneath. You're going to pull your tummy in. Then we're going to lift that tailbone. So that little tuck underneath is what we're going to be doing. Right, now into your glute bridge. Use that little curl up of the tailbone, tummy nice and pulled in, and you're going to squeeze the glutes, drive through your heels and lift those hips up nice and high. Now I want you to imagine that your spine is a set of beads, and you're going to lay one segment or one bead down at a time, and then the last thing down is that tailbone. Roll the tailbone up. Push through the heels, squeeze the inner thighs and the glutes, pull the tummy in, and then roll ourselves down nice and gently, segment by segment, bringing ourselves back. And then our last one, little turn, bring ourselves up nice and high, squeeze those glutes, and then bring ourselves down nice and gently, segment by segment, last things down to that tailbone. Right, now we're going to take ourselves round onto all fours. And what we're going to do is we're going to take ourselves into a nice cat-cow position. So hands are going to be directly underneath our shoulders. Make sure put a little gap in those fingers. You feel like your toes are gripping into the mat with our fingers. Knees are going to be underneath our hips. So we're going to start with our tailbone. We're going to tuck that tailbone underneath, pulling through the tummy. Now roll up through your spine, bringing your chin into your chest and pushing your hands, bringing your shoulders up towards the sky. Then we're going to lift that tailbone, push your tummy down towards the floor, pull our shoulders back and have a nice look forward. Tuck your tailbone, pull the tummy in. Pushing through your hands and push the shoulders up towards the sky, bringing your chin to your chest. Then we're going to roll through, take a nice look forward. Tummy nice and pulled in, and then back down, pulling those shoulders back. Now keep that going. If you're doing a standing version, hips going to be soft onto a little shelf, hands onto your knees. We pull our tummy in, we tuck that tailbone, we bring our chin to our chest, and we shrug our shoulders in towards our ears. Then we lift that tailbone, we pull our shoulders back, and we have a nice look forward. So we're tucking under and through. All right, we're back on the floor with our cat cows. The 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Right, last bit on the mat. This one hasn't got a standing one, unfortunately, but what we'll do is just bring your hands 3 or 4 inches out in front of us. Take your knees so they're shoulder width apart. Pull our tummy in, and then just push our hips back towards our heels and bring our forehead down towards the floor. Then we're just going to lift up through the hip, pull the tummy in, and then bring ourselves back up. Push the hips back, tummy nice and pulled in, bring ourselves down, and then bring ourselves back up. Now keep that going. If you are standing, what I like to do is just starting back into your little roll down. So chin to chest, roll yourself down. Just take yourself just to the tops of the knees, then roll yourself back, pulling our shoulders back. Hips going back. Chest and forehead coming through. We're going to go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Right, and then we're just going to gently stand ourselves up, taking our time. And then all we're going to do now is just going to bring our toes back together. We're going to finish it up with our hands down by our sides, spreading those fingers out nice and wide. Taking some big, deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth, and just let our nervous system calm down. Let everything just relax. Give those toes a wiggle, squeeze the inner thighs, pull the tummy in, pull the shoulders back, push the fingers down, spread them again nice and wide. And then just very quickly, we'll take a big breath in, just have a nice look over your right shoulder, back to center, big breath in over your left shoulder, breath out back to center, and then big breath in, chin to chest, breath out back to center, big breath in, looking up to the sky, breath out back to center, and then give those hands a nice little wiggle. Start the elbows wiggling, take ourselves with a nice little ankle flick, give the hips a nice little wiggle. And that, guys, is you done for this gentle movement class of day number 1. Hope you're feeling nice and loose and ready to go, and I look forward to seeing you in day number 2. Guys, thank you very much. Enjoy.